Washington had a golden opportunity to take advantage of Crosby being out, and they lost.
Didn't, yeah. And
then
you can't give that up.
And then they beat Crosby. Like I couldn't understand, like, Crosby's not in, but Crosby hasn't been good all postseason. He hasn't been that good. Evgeny Malkin, on the other hand, has been phenomenal. And it's well known when Crosby's not on the ice, Malkin is probably the best player in the NHL.
Yeah.
So it's not that much of a surprise. But when you think about how big and physical Alexander Ovechkin is, to think that he couldn't take advantage of the best player in the NHL being
not
out,
being there, yeah,
it's a bit of a problem. That's why they're not here anymore.
Well, yeah, the Capitals have, failed in the playoffs time and time again, and
they couldn't capitalize. Stupid little jokes.
Oh god, these puns!
Oh yes,
kill me.
The Penguins.
Yeah, but the Capitals have just not been up to the task to get through the playoffs, and I'm sure their fans are frustrated. I don't know if they're calling for anyone's head yet, but
I mean, how could you though? You took the favorites to go to the Stanley Cup Finals to 7 games. I mean, you can't really be too mad about that.
They were the top team in the league, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, but the Celtics are the top seed in the East, and we'll get to them in a minute. A little bit more than a minute, but we'll get to them in a little bit. So that's how we got to the matchup we have now, the Senators versus the Penguins, the Sens and the Pens.
No, God. I didn't even think of that. You're right there.
It's definitely interesting. As of Tuesday, it is tied 1-1. Senators took Game 1. Penguins took Game 2. But both teams looked really fresh despite coming off of tough series.
Yeah, it's kind of, they're kind of dancing, figuring each other out. Good for the Senators to take one in Pittsburgh. Could be tough to do. I wouldn't have been too surprised if Pittsburgh was up 2-0 and then went back to Ottawa. Bobby Ryan has looked good.
Seemed like they wanted to come in immediately and punch Pittsburgh in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, when you're the new kid in school, you go up to the biggest bully, punch him in the face.
Yeah.
As hard as you can.
Good strategy.
I think that's what it was. And the Penguins they didn't know what to do. But they bounced back with a victory to tie the series 1-1. Now it's going into Canada, which, isn't like unfamiliar territory for Sidney Crosby. He's like the Canadian hero, leading to Olympic championships for Canada. But we'll see what goes on in the rest of the series. It's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. I'm just worried again that we're going to see good hockey being played the first 2 games and then just get sloppy. Really sloppy. I'm just worried about that because sloppy hockey, especially in the playoffs, is not what anyone wants to see, especially not when both teams are playing sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, the Penguins are, I think, one of the least sloppy teams, so I don't see this series getting particularly sloppy. If it does on the Senators' end, it might be a quicker series than we're thinking, because I think this could be a long series. I think Ottawa is surprising everyone. I think the Penguins have probably gone into this realizing that because Ottawa beat the Bruins and then beat the Rangers, so there's clearly something to them. So they're probably not quite as underestimating them as the previous 2 teams might have. But the Penguins are still probably the favorites, and if Ottawa doesn't keep their game to a level with them, then they're not going to get many chances because Crosby's going to score and he's going to get a few passes. So if you can't stay in the game and you can't stop the rest of their team, then it's over quickly.
The thing that I think is going to benefit both teams is Pittsburgh is just, they've been here. there's really nothing new about the Penguins from last season. They're the defending champs.
Yep.
They know what it's like. They know what it's like a lot.
Yeah, not a huge, many changes on their top couple lines.
Yeah, they're like the New England Patriots that don't cheat. They've been there.
It just hasn't been proven.
Yeah, it just hasn't been proven.
And shout out to my stupid brother who's a Penguins fan, and I hate him and his happiness.
Yeah. Don't you hate when your siblings are happy?
Yeah.
But
especially when they root for dumb teams that are just stupid, flightless birds.
I like Penguins. Anyways, but the Senators looked like they were more methodical. Like, against the Rangers, they looked like they were going. Mm-hmm. This looks like they're going to be able to maintain the pace and maintain their energy because they're doing a better job playing keep away. Not letting the Penguins get their game. Yeah, not letting the Penguins get their shots.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you let Malkin take the shots he wants, you're going to lose like 6-0 every game.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not allowing him. They're not allowing Crosby. They're not allowing anybody to really play the way they want.
And it's frustrating the Penguins a little bit. I think I saw that. They only won by one goal.
1-0.
Yeah, I think it was scored by like Phil Kessel in game 2. Because their defense is a lot better than the Capitals. I saw a ton of chances in the Penguins Capitals games where the Penguins could just set up the perfect opportunity that they want, but Ottawa seems to be reading them a lot better in that regard and are getting into those passing lanes and stopping those shots. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it up because the Penguins are a fast team and they have that experience. So, I still think they're the favorite. I think they could pretty easily put this away in 6 games if this goes as expected, but you never know because Ottawa has surprised us before. So
yeah, Ottawa now has home ice advantage. So
for 2 games, yeah.
So I think we've exhausted this matchup. You ready to make your pick?
I'm still
going
Penguins. Yep.
I'm going to go with the Senators just because they have the advantage now.
Okay. I mean it's only for 2 games, and then it's back to 1-1-1.
But there's only 2 more games in Pittsburgh. There's 3 more in Washington or in Ottawa.
That's true, but I think the Penguins can steal one from from Ottawa.
They definitely could, but I'm going to stay here and say that they won't. I think give me the Senators in 7.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the West now.
To the West, from the East to the West,
Predators are just I said the Senators were surprising, but the Predators have just been a revelation this playoffs. Dominated the Blackhawks. They put the Blues away pretty quick too. What was that, 5 games?
Yeah. Is there a word that emphasizes domination more than dominated? Because that's what they did to the Blackhawks.
Yeah, and that was shocking. None of us really saw that coming. I remember we talked about it a little bit because they were up a couple games.
They were up 3-0.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, they're going to put this one away now.
Yeah. And, they have set the tone. But the Ducks are a very good team. Ducks have, they're the other birds that are commonly in the playoffs and, know what to expect. So, this is the first time in how many years that the Predators are in. It's been a while for
long time.
Yeah, for Nashville.
And I'm pretty sure I saw something today. I don't remember Barry Melrose maybe, who said that if they win, this will be the first championship that the city of Nashville has ever had in any sport.
Huh. Well, who else do they have?
They have college teams. They had the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, they were in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they were in Memphis or something. I don't know.
But the city of Nashville is first of all, I don't want them to win because you don't play in the West. You play in the East. That's another thing that drives me crazy is when geographic locations don't make sense. And
Yep.
I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. In what state is the city Denver?
Colorado.
And is Colorado in the east or the west?
Colorado is in the west.
The state of Colorado is in the western half of the United States.
I believe so.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, it's
Okay.
California.
Yeah,
and
it's like
Colorado.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I'm like, isn't it like right above Texas? That's the west, isn't it?
Why is Denver, University of Denver, in the Big East for lacrosse?
That's a good point.
Another question, why is stupid Stony Brook, why were they in the Big South for football?
I didn't know they were. And that's
Not anymore, they're
great
not. They're in
point.
Colonial Athletic Association
Yeah.
now. But, like, they were in the Big South, playing against teams like Liberty.
It's true. But I mean, as far as Tennessee teams go, Memphis, the Grizzlies are in the West, the Western Conference. You know,
It doesn't
and
make
maybe
sense.
it's just.
I think that makes a little more sense because they used to be in Vancouver and they just kept them there.
Okay, yeah.
And they were the Vancouver Grizzlies for a long
Yeah.
time. And then I think because they'd already, it would have upset the balance, they just kept Memphis, the team, in the West. Which, again, is stupid. Why the Dallas Cowboys are in the NFC East and not the NFC South, I don't know. So we could do
While
a...
Miami Dolphins are in the AFC East instead of the AFC
Well, at least it's
South.
at least it's in the East.
I guess,
It's
but I
it's
mean,
on
you
the
got
Eastern Coast.
Jets, Buffalo, New England, all in this little cluster F.
I mean, who else would you put there, though?
I don't know. Maybe the Broncos, just because screw it.
Why not? Why not? Put all the teams from Colorado in the East.
But yeah, so back to this matchup.
So the surprising, I almost said Blackhawks, the surprising Predators who swept the Blackhawks, beat the Blues in either 5 or 6 games. They're very well rested for this matchup, this series rather, against the Ducks, who came out of a 7-game series and narrowly escaped with a win. So the advantage you would think would go to the Predators, but right now series is tied 1-1. I don't even remember.
And that was a come from behind victory for the Ducks.
Who
they
did
were
they
down
beat?
by like 2 goals, weren't they?
Who did they beat?
The Ducks?
Yeah.
Oilers. Duh.
Yeah,
The
the
Oilers.
Oilers.
Yeah, Edmonton, who I was kind of
Connor McDavid.
pulling for.
Yeah.
Because McDavid, I'm thinking maybe Gretzky 2.0.
Yeah, so the Ducks beat the Oilers in 7 games, come from behind victory. Crazy series. But again, like I said, you would think that the Ducks would be at the disadvantage, but they don't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
They look just as fresh as the Predators do.
Yeah, they came out with a lot of energy. And were just able to... second period, it looked like the Predators were going to take it, and then the Ducks just put together a few goals in a row, and
It's that V formation.
yeah, the flying V.
Yeah. Where's Gordon Bombay when you need him, huh?
Yeah, I actually saw on the international stage, Finland actually did the flying V formation against Sweden or something, I think. And I don't know if it ended up resulting in anything, but it was,
Did it finish in
was
a
funny
knuckle
to
puck?
see. No knuckle pucks, because that just takes way too much time to set up. You never have time to set up a knuckle puck in the NHL. You just get smashed. Flicking the puck up on its side like you've got all the time in the world.
If Keenan can do it, NHL players can do it.
Yeah, but the Predators absolutely dominated, I think. Well, actually, what was it? Was it? No, it was
6 games.
It was 6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't domination, but they did have that little bit of extra rest. Whereas you had the Ducks looking like they were going to just get destroyed because they lost 7-1 in Game 6, and then Game 7 comes around and they take it, and I think that might have been a come from behind victory too, with a 4-3 win. And now, on to the Predators. I I know I said Ducks originally when we were talking playoffs, but I think I might be
Preds?
leaning Predators for who's going to win, not for
Who you